be in that place where, just stuff that happens happens. Being Catholic is one of those things where you have to remind yourself on a daily basis that, there are things that matter and there are things that don't. And today, something that really mattered happened, and it's got to be acknowledged. But I don't want to talk about that right now. This is different. So today, or yesterday, comes out, Gina posted a Photoshop picture of Bob Iger wearing a shirt that says Gina Carano. Gina did nothing wrong, or Gina Carano did nothing wrong. Drunk 3PO has the shirt for sale on his Teespring site. I am going to order one as soon as I can. Well, I tell you guys something. It takes a massive amount of guttural fortitude for a woman in Gina's position to do what she did. Bob Iger is the chairman of the board of Disney. He is not Pablo Hidalgo. He is not Matt Martin. He is not even Kathy Kennedy. She was mocking Bob Iger. I would think it would be Kennedy, considering Kennedy's the one that actually pulled this shit. Find it very fascinating, it's Iger. Now, you could look at this and saying she has nothing to lose, so why not? But it's Bob Iger. Maybe she has nothing to lose, and that's why she did it. Okay, fine, we'll go with that. I find it fascinating that she would choose Iger. Hey, Scory, I find it fascinating that she would do this. It's kind of like somebody in my congressional office getting fired by Mr. Army and then putting a Photoshop picture of him wearing a, Biden for president hat on. Okay? You just don't do that. Bob Iger, it isn't like he's, like a janitor. He's one of the most powerful people in Hollywood. Or was. Yeah, Iger. So, I think there's a lot more to this than her just being flipped. Now, she could be being flipped, and usually Occam's razor, the simplest the simplest explanation is usually the explanation. But I gotta say, I'm not convinced. For some reason, Iger of all people was in Chapek, and it's not Kennedy. It not being Kennedy is very interesting to me, just because it's like, hey Anton, haven't seen you here in a while. So, you guys, I don't know. What does this mean? We know there's stuff going on. We know there's stuff happening. But what? It's very interesting to me to try to parse all this out. You could have a theory. I mean, she like I said, she's probably just trolling him. But God, that takes an awful lot of cojones. Oh, it's a shot across the bow. But why? Why? I will say this, there's something definitely going on. The article about the mismanagement, the article about how Disney, is effed up firing her, because ultimately allowing Kennedy to run roughshod is the reason why all this shit's going on, and that's Bob Iger's fault. All right, I'm gonna give you a theory. You remove Iger, there's no one to protect Kennedy. Think about it. Think about it. She doesn't have that could be too, but I don't know. I mean, every time somebody puts something out there like WDW Pro, Clownfish, Midnight's Edge, even Cameron, um, Iger's seemingly protecting Kennedy. But if you remove Iger, Kennedy doesn't have any connections to Chapek. Chapek doesn't like her. Why would he keep her around? Think about it. Now maybe Iger's sticking up for Kennedy, or for Gina. Maybe he's trying to get her back. Or maybe it's just Gina playing a joke. Because the t-shirt is on Drunk 3PO's Teespring site. I want you guys to understand there's a lot of moving parts. Iger protected Kennedy for a long time. Maybe he's not anymore. But I would think that people on the inside have been talking to Gina. I would think that Favreau is. I would think that Pedro Pascal and the rest of the cast have. Okay. It's very interesting to me watching this play out. If you go, I don't know, Anton. Like I said, it's either, I could see Chapek wanting to get rid of Kennedy. Iger, as chairman of the board, throwing a fit. We can't because, she has some deep, dark secret she's going to spread to everybody. Let me ask you a question. Does Bob Chapek, who's been put in this position as a patsy, really, really, really owe Kathleen, Bob Iger anything? Hey, John. No. Why would he want to protect Iger? What, does he owe Iger anything? No, he doesn't. His only real mission is to keep Disney safe. Iger's incompetence has led to all this because ultimately, like I said last night on Echo Base, Bob Iger is the person actually at most fault. All he would have had to do is say, Kathy, no more. No more. I don't care. Do not freak out at me. You freak out at me, you're gone. Okay? That's all he had to do. He didn't do that. He let her run roughshod. This is weak. Sorry, guys. Sorry. This happened. I was live on Facebook talking about something else, and it did the same thing. And this is par for the course, I guess. Anyway, I am back. Where was I? I really think that both Iger and Kennedy may be out. Because the investors go, well, who was the one in charge of Kennedy? Well, it's Bob Iger. Now, granted, I don't know what this is going to do to what Favreau wants to do, but if Chapek is smart, he'll let Favreau and Filoni do whatever they have to fix what they broke, what Kennedy broke. Okay? This also gives somebody, Disney itself, the chance to get rid of the dead weight. Okay. All right. That's really all that's going that I can see. And it's just, what does all this mean? It's probably meaningless. But there is something happening right now. There really is. I can feel it in my bones. Something really unique and good. So we just gotta have faith. Okay, we just gotta have, we gotta have faith. We gotta just sit and hope and, lean back, love what we love. Go after them when they do something stupid like, the Star Wars version of Safe Space and Snowflake. Uh, and last night EVS was saying that those two new characters look like different, look like Star Wars theory. I mean, yeah, I believe, yeah, Maze, I do. I see a couple of the contacts that I've had haven't said anything in a long time to me. Um, but if John at Star Wars Dad sees this, or Craig, uh, DM me, and if you've heard anything, because there's something really not. You don't just go after Bob Iger. You know what I'm saying? They're not. They're not very Star Wars. They're not at all. I mean, they're trash. We all know that too. I mean, uh, it's a very lazy. We don't care. And I know a lot of people are like, well, that's what the way Disney does things. If Disney wants to make money at Star Wars, they're going to have to change. Here's the deal. Sometimes you got to change. All right. Sometimes the company has to change. Yeah, JJ Kennedy, I mean, it's like it's just bullshit. And I think the thing that irritates me to no end is the fact that when you look at what the story group is doing, they know what they're doing is bullshit, and they don't care. They don't care. They have absolutely no care at all for what they're doing. Yeah, you give the audience what they want and get rewarded. It's not very difficult to follow what George wanted to do. It's not. They didn't, and now they're paying for it. You know. Um, anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this. It is Good Friday, and oh, they won't. I mean, Cameron even said it. No one wants to hire anybody that worked at Lucasfilm under Kennedy. Tommy. There's just, I'm going to say this. The investors are involved now. All right? And I've said this before. That one investor is a mom and pop investor. The other ones, the big ones, have a red line right to Chapek's office. And the investors are the ones that hire and fire the board of directors. They do. They do. And they don't know what to do about it. Iger tried when he had George show up with JJ, and Kennedy, shit all over it. Iger let her do it. So maybe he's paying for his lack of competence. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna rock. It is Good Friday, so have a very solemn Good Friday. If you're a Facebook friend of mine, you probably saw my 2 videos. I did one and then I did another one because it got cut off, about what Good Friday really means and the Stations of the Cross, etc. So I will talk to you all later. If something happens today, I'll be back. See you around the galaxy, scoundrels.